Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. We are here in the Dragon's Lair. Last episode we became ascended and got access to speak with the dragon Glint, who's apparently a prophet, and she has one last challenge for us before we make it to her to figure out what the heck's going on. The story of Prophecies, this is the prophecy in Prophecies, and boy is this game all over the place, because we are, 75% of the way in, and we're just now kind of like, oh yeah, the prophecy. It's like, what? Excuse me? Y'all should have been setting this up 40 hours ago, or 10 hours ago. But anyway, let's go in. Also, we've upgraded now, party size of 8. This is the biggest party size in the game. So this is Glint's Lair. It's pretty cool. It's a really unique area. Glint does not often accept visitors. If you wish to meet her, you must make it through her lair, defeat the 6 facets of the Great Dragon Prophet, and you should be granted an audience. Step through this portal to begin the journey. So this is kind of how the areas work. There's 6 different zones. Each zone has a boss that has that's one of these 6 professions, and each area has like a mechanic related to the profession, kind of. So for example, this area is constant health degen, so I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the necromancer style area. So this one shouldn't be too bad, but some of the other areas have relatively punishing effects. Should basically be able to cheese these guys out. If we hit them, they'll go all the way around and we can just run right by. Haha. I would summon our imp guy, but you only get him for one small zone because he can't go through the portals with you, so we're just going to be doing it with the squad. I've made some slight changes to the team. We have a fire elementalist with us now, as well as 2 healing monks instead of our previous healing necro and healing monk. And our necro is now on a damage build. So this is the facet of the dragon in the back here. So let's try to pull some of these enemies away so we're not fighting the dragon and all these guys. No, I'm pretty sure this is the necromancer one. We'll see whenever it starts to... No, this is a monk one. Okay. Yeah, so I think the idea with the spell, or with the area effects then, is that the effect is kind of like the opposite of the class. They're what would, either like, I don't know, punish the class or disencourage the class. So this is the monk boss, so the area requires constant healing. Alright, let's go on through the portal. There's a little cutscene that plays every time you go through these portals, which is... I like it. It gives you a view of the new area whenever you go in. Also, the colors are pretty related to which one it is. So I believe this is Ranger. Yeah, so this is... You're permanently slowed on this area. Some of these are definitely varying levels of annoyance. And I can already feel not having that dip. I'll want it back. Let's keep going. I just really love this area. Is like basically all these assets are basically made only for this mission, so I just think it's super cool how unique this area is and that they're willing to design all that stuff just for this mission. The enemies are very much standard, but I don't know why our allies... I was hitting things for 3 seconds before they actually hit anything, but whatever. Let's keep going. Oh no, I've been dazed. Alright, not too bad. If I remember, this is like one of the easier ones. There's a couple of these that are actually quite hard. Also, I think generally they try to stack more of the enemies of the type in the zone. So, for example, here you see there's a lot of these enchanted bows. Do I have a full inventory still? Yes, I forgot to sell stuff. There's a lot of enchanted bows here, which are rangers, because this is the ranger zone. I think the monk one doesn't do that, and I don't think the mesmer one does either, and I think that's because there's no forgotten monks or mesmers. I forget if you can cap from these guys, but if you can actually cap skills from these facets here, then this would be your chance to get a different elemental. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong. They don't have the natural boss aura, but they do give you morale boost, so that makes me think that they are cappable. But this would be your chance to get a new skill for your class. Oh boy, attacked in the cutscene. This is the elementalist area, if I remember correctly. Or no, this is the mesmer area, that's why it's purple. These things are really freaking cool. The crystal spiders, I love the design on them. Oh, there are forgotten illusionists, okay. Maybe it's just the monk one, because realistically, if you have a room full of monks, they're not really going to be able to kill anybody. Now this one actually doesn't have an effect. I think what it does instead is that it has a, no, excuse me, I'm thinking of another one. But yeah, this area doesn't have an effect for some reason. I don't know why they didn't put one in for, like, the mesmer. But for some reason, the mesmer area does not have an effect. Like a zone negative debuff. All the other ones do, I believe. At least I remember they do. The previous two 100% did, and I think the next ones should, to my knowledge. So I don't know why the mesmer one doesn't have one. But it's whatever. I don't know, they could have done something like get interrupted every couple seconds, but that would be really freaking annoying, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. Right? Like, most of the things you associate with the mesmer would probably be not only really hard, but would be really freaking annoying. Leveled up. Oh yeah, in the last episode we also dinged level 20. So we are now max level. It was Susuke who leveled up. Yeah, it looks like it was Susuke who leveled up. A facet of chaos. Alright, that should be all of them. Oh, someone else dinged. I think that was Talcora that time. Yep, that was Talcora. Alright, let's grab our gold. Going through to the next zone. Which class will be next? I think we have Elementalist, Warrior, Necro left. So let's see which one's next. this is. This is green, so this is either Necro or Ranger. Looks like it's Necro. When you're in this area, you suffer from energy degen. That's kind of weird, because that kind of feels like that should be the Mesmer area effect, right? Like, because Mesmers are about energy denial. So, it's a little weird that this area would be the one with energy denial and not the Mesmer one. This is pretty interesting. So they've actually placed corpses in here because these are necromancers and they have skills that trigger off of corpses, and they need corpses to trigger them. So they put them in here to make some of the corpse skills better. That's cool. You don't have Death Nova. So it looks like another effect here is that everything in this zone is constantly enchanted with a skill called Death Nova. This is a skill that's used a lot in like minion builds to essentially just blow up minions and have them do damage. And it looks like while we're in the zone, not only do we have the energy degen, but we permanently have the Death Nova on us, and I think everything else also permanently has the Death Nova on it. I don't know why then that... maybe they should put the energy on the Necromancer one, and then put the, this permanent Death Nova could be this zone's one. I don't know why this one doubles up. It's a little weird. Also, we got even more people leveling up. So... just take care of that really quick. The rest of the team is getting close to level 20, which is max level. I dinged level 20 after the Augury Rock mission because it gave me a ton of XP. So it's just a couple more members of the team to level up. This is the Elementalist one. And if I remember correctly, how this one works is just that periodically you just take damage, I think, from the effect. Either that or there's like traps in here. Not like ranger traps, but like areas that just do damage to you over time. At least I seem to remember that being it. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Yeah, so these things will periodically be dropping firestorms on your team, or empowered firestorms, and you have to like get everybody out of them. Oh no. Oh, thank God. Thankfully, we do a ton of damage. That could have been bad. We were all standing in there just constantly taking damage from the frickin' thing while we had all those guys on us. Take out these Arcanists first. We've seen how annoying they can be in the previous missions, actually almost killing us before. I'm a little bit less worried about the Crystal Guardians. Yeah, I like this because I like areas that play up to the professions being different kind of thing. And like, I don't know, this makes it, gives you a little bit of a, a little bit of flair for the different classes. And I just think that's kind of cool. I don't think there's other missions that really do that. Because it kind of solidifies the fact that, oh, you aren't the only one who has classes, right? Like, everything in this world generally abides by the class system. Everything is a class. The enemies themselves are classes as well. And what's kind of funny now that I realize as I've gotten older is that there's also, yeah, the enemies can be different classes, but the enemies also are not limited to one weapon. So, like, you can have elementalists that use essentially bows that are enemies. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's go on through. I think Warrior should be the only one that's left, if my memory serves me right. Yes, the like orange color is Warrior. I really like that area up there that's covering us. I forget what this area's thing is. Does it not have one as well? Maybe this one doesn't have one either. That's a little weird. Both Warrior and Mesmer not having one. I wonder if they just ran out of time to develop them. No, there it is. Occasionally, I thought this was it, but I wanted to make sure. Every so often, everybody in your team is going to get knocked down for like a long time too. It's like a 4-second knock or a 3-second knock, something like that. It's quite a bit, so you need to be pretty careful whenever you're pulling that you don't get knocked down mid-pool, and then you're on the floor while the enemies are just able to pound you. Like there. Like how we almost literally got eaten alive because of the thing I literally called out 5 seconds before because I wanted to rush. I'm pretty sure it's on a timer though. So the smart thing is to do is just before you fight any big packs, just let your team get knocked down and just stay there for a second. Also, you could run abilities that are anti-knockdown. That's one thing I like and hate about these kind of games, is like, you do have abilities that would counter the knockdown effect. Like, you could get abilities that counter being knocked down. But in order to get them, you'd have to already know going into the mission that you need them. And I don't really like that in games where it feels like, yeah, you want something to counter a negative effect, but you kind of have to already know it's coming before you make the decision. But it's really hard to design games in a way where that's not the case, because if you don't do it, then you just either just don't make unique skills or unique counters to instances, which isn't fun, especially for replays. Or you have someone tell you which exactly you need to bring. Sometimes there's stuff you can infer if there's like general stuff. It's like, oh, we might not need condition cleanse for this mission because there might not be that many conditions, but it's not a super ununique thing. So if I build it or bring it, that's certainly fine. Meanwhile, like more unique stuff like anti-res skills that prevent enemies and allies from rezzing could be really strong in certain missions, but you don't know until you get there and get through a section of the mission to figure it out. And that's more of a special thing. We got knocked down the cutscene. More of a special thing, so you can't just run it by default. Ah, here's the dragon. What's up, dragon?
It was almost 800 years ago when I foresaw the Flame Seeker Prophecies. You have ascended and awakened the gift of true sight that lay dormant within you. The moment has finally come. You are the chosen I have been waiting for. While you've been in the desert, the rest of the world has changed. Let me show you.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom.
As you know, those who you once called friends have become enemies. Their souls are darkened by a deep secret. The unseen gods they speak of are nothing more than a terrible and fearful race of spellcasters known as the Mursat. As I have foreseen, the Mursat will meet their demise at the hands of the Chosen. Their stranglehold on the lands of Kryta and beyond will be broken. For years, the Mursat and their human disciples have hunted down the Chosen, murdering them to prevent the prophecies from coming to pass. But you have slipped through their fingers, and your friends now pay the price.
Oh, goddammit.
The one called Marcus betrays them as he betrayed you, and if you do not hurry to their aid, none will survive.
I swear that's a different model. I swear that's not the model he normally
Many
has.
have already been taken captive. Their souls will be reaped upon one of the 5 bloodstones, just as the chosen you witnessed being slaughtered in the
Our
Makuma
friends.
jungle. If this happens, no magic in this world or any other will bring them back. Of the future, this you must know. Your story does not end in the mountains.
Oh?
Your true destiny will lead you to the west, to the Ring of Fire.
Well, if that don't look like an endgame zone, I don't know what does.
The flame, for within it lies the power to destroy both good and evil. This portal will take you to the Shiver Peak Mountains. I know you have questions, but there are some things you must know, and others that you must discover upon your journey. Go now. Save your friends. They will not last through the night.
Uh-oh. Well, we gotta go save some friends. Here's a big dragon Glint. You see over here there's some dragon eggs, and we could pick them up, but then Glint would fight us and probably kill me. And it's not canonical anyway, because obviously you'd have to kill her then, and that's not how the story goes, because obviously she's still alive in the events of the second game. Or at least before the second game. But yeah, our friends are captured in the Shiver Peaks. We got a portal to the Shiver Peaks. The White Mantle are in full pursuit as they normally are, doing their shady things, but those weird floaty guys behind them were the unseen gods that we couldn't see before. Alright, and here we are now in Draknar's Forge, is where Glint sent us to. This is the capital of the southern Shiver Peaks, the home of the dwarves. A lot more of that dwarven architecture around with that blue kind of metal with the almost Nordic style stuff, but bigger buildings and stuff to kind of symbolize that this is like their capital. This place is relatively important, especially in the early days of Prophecies, due to the fact that this is like the, I guess the endgame hub where a lot of players would have been hanging out. But also, this is the first place in the game where you could get max level armor. The 60 armor here is the max for my class as a caster. I already have a set because I got it from somewhere else, just to make the gameplay a bit more smooth, but this is the first place you would have been able to actually get a set for yourself. And because of that, a lot of people would actually get runs here. So the way it works is you can actually run from Ascalon City. You can go up this way through, over this way through explorable zones, up into the Shiver Peaks here, go around down here to Beacon's Perch, and you can actually run from Beacon's Perch down here through the southern Shiver Peaks to get to Draknar's Forge, which is really cool. It actually means that like all of the Guild Wars 1 map, except for a couple zones, are actually connected, and you can actually run between them, which is a good and a bad thing. It's good because it's cool. It makes the world feel like, you know, more together. But it does also mean that you can actually sequence break the game, and like you could actually accidentally sequence break the game relatively easy. Now, something like that would be kind of hard to do because you would be running down this way and you would slap into like level 20 mobs while you're level 10 coming off the Shiver Peaks, but you could have pretty easily explored up here at like level 5 or 6 and ended up in Yaxbend and skipped the entire story in the Ascalon area by accident. So it's a give and take. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming out. I'll see you in the next episode where we'll probably be leading off with a side objective to get some more player power. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.